Sup? This is our last Halloween themed video. I like how I said in the beginning of this month, I was like, I'm not a big spooky girl, to be honest. It's not really my cup of tea. I'm more of a Christmas girly than a Halloween girly. I'm not a really big Halloween girly. I don't really like to make Halloween stuff. I'm more of a Christmas girly. All of the videos have been Halloween themed. Halloween? Huh? Halloween themed. Halloween themed. This is the last one that we're doing for Halloween. And I'm going to do, I want to make a little like diorama in this cloche that I got. And I got this, you want to smell? I got this at Michael's in like, I think it was like in July or August or something. And then I got a bunch of little like thingies. I got little candles, an owl, and a candle, some potions, and then clocheception, because I got another one that I'm gonna put in there too. So I got that. So I got all of these at Michael's in like July when they were putting up Halloween stuff, and I was like, guys, chill. So I want to make a little like scene in here, and it's going to feature these little calico critters, this little black one here in there. There's somebody I follow on Instagram who like paints calico critters, and she makes them kind of spooky. I'm gonna put like an example here. I forget the name of her, but I'll put it here so you can see. And so I kind of want to do that with this. I want to turn that little black cat into a bat. For the lady, I got this little doll, the Dream Ella Extra Iconic Mini, because it has to fit inside there. So I was looking for small dolls. I had an idea of doing maybe like a vintage devil outfit, like a porcelain one. I'll show an example here from the 50s. I really love them. They're usually super expensive to find now. My dream is to find one in the wild, but I really like them. I wanted to do something like that, but then I realized I have to do like a full bodysuit for her, and I really don't know how or want to do a full bodysuit for this little doll. Maybe once I get a little more comfortable with like sewing doll clothes, I can tackle that for like another doll. So if that's something you guys want to see me do, let me know, because then maybe I will do it. But not for this one. I think we'll just make her like a little witch. Easy. And I think what we're gonna do also, I mean, I guess I could go to Joann's and see if I can find like a little cauldron. I don't know. I also have an egg. That's it. I have an egg. End of the story. No, I'm just joking. I have an egg that I'm thinking I could also like cut and then put little feet on the bottom part of here and then make this a cauldron. I think I'm just gonna, I want it to be like kind of easy, fun, quick, like nothing super crazy. Just do a face up on her. I'm not gonna like redo her hair. Maybe I'll cut it because it is really long and like style it. But I do like her purple hair. I think that's perfectly great for a witch. I have to figure out something to do with the clothes. I have a ton of doll clothes from like all of the other dolls that I've unboxed. So I might dig around and see if I can find something that fits her. So I'm gonna have to look around and see what I can piece together. So it's gonna be kind of like a Mod Podge of things. But I feel like it would be kind of cute, like just making a little spooky Halloween scene. So that's what we're gonna do today. And I kind of want to find a witch hat too. We might go to Michael's and see if I can find any like last minute things. Let's go do that. So the first thing I did was to inspect the cloche. And I took off the little foam padding, and then I traced it so that I could cut out the bottom that I wanted for it. Also, don't mind my finger that is missing a nail, like a fake nail. It popped off and then I just forgot to glue it back on. But I got this like weird fabric stuff that shed all over the place that I wanted as the bottom of this. And so I just trimmed it to fit and then glued it in place. Next, it was time to unbox the doll. She's super cute and I really like the sculpt. Let's unbox these guys too. They're so cute. All right, next step was to just undress her. I took off all of her clothes and then I pulled out a bunch of things that I thought maybe gave a witchy vibe that I had and tried on a ton of things. Most stuff didn't fit and I had a hunch that things wouldn't fit, but I wanted to try anyway. The Barbie shoes are a little big, but these other black ones that I found ended up fitting okay. So she was gonna wear those. At this point, I realized that I should probably make something, like make an outfit, because everything seemed like it was too big. So I had some of this trim that I tried to mess around with and see if I could make some sort of dress out of. And then I had another trim that I thought I could make a skirt out of. It was a lot of just like finagling and trying to figure some stuff out. I figured I could try to tie a ribbon around her waist to like cinch in the lace to make it look kind of like a dress. I thought maybe this could work, but I ended up really not liking it, and I do end up changing this later, but this was like the first iteration. I also went to Joann's and found some little spooky witch hats. And while they were too big for the doll's head, I did have this old Draculaura hat that I thought maybe I could just cut the top off and make it into a witch hat. And it actually worked really well. So I just cut the top off of it, glued it on, and then put the little like buckle part over it. Another thing I was able to find were these little candle cauldrons, and I thought that they were the perfect size. then I decided to move on to the face up. I used acetone to take off the factory face up as usual, and then coated it with a coat of Mr. Super Clear before moving on to actually putting on the face. At this point, I realized that the little outfit that the Calico Critter cat came in actually fit her pretty well, and I decided I was gonna give her maybe a more like updated look and do a little crop top and a little black skirt. So I ended up just removing that old ugly dress thing that I made and then put on this little top from Calico Critters. So fun fact, I guess the Calico Critters outfits fit these small little dolls. I did forget to mention that I ended up braiding her hair, and I figured I would just do it in 2 little braids, so that's what I settled on for her hair. But then I started the face up. Like I said, after spraying with Mr. Super Clear, I sketched everything on first with some watercolor pencils, trying to get exactly how I wanted the eyes to look. I knew I wanted her to be kind of surprised and like looking down, because I wanted her to be looking at the cauldron. So I wanted it to be kind of like, oh, what's happening in the cauldron? So that was kind of the expression I was going for. After spraying another layer of Mr. Super Clear to seal in my watercolor pencils, I went in with acrylic paint this time. I've been running into an issue with gouache paint where the colors would start to bleed even after I would spray it and stuff, and I think it's because they are water-based. So I figured this time I would try to use acrylic paint, and I think it worked better. It was much more crisp. The only issue was it was harder for me to correct my mistakes. With gouache paint, I could kind of just wipe it off with water, but acrylic, it's kind of hard to do that. So I guess there's pros and cons to each side. Also, I should have done this part first before I started laying on paints. That's why I stopped, because I realized I forgot to put on the blush and everything. Normally I would go watercolor pencils, seal it, then do blush and shading, seal it, and then do paints. But I don't know where my head was at. I just forgot. So I stopped halfway through this to put on the pan pastel blush parts. And so I blushed her cheeks and put some shading around her nose and eyebrows. And then once that was sealed, we went back with acrylic. I'm doing purple eyes to match her hair and making her look down, kind of surprised. But I felt like she was a little too surprised and shocked, so I did end up making it a little less intense. Once she was sealed, I went in with a coat of high gloss varnish on the eyes and the lips. That's it for her face up. Now it's time to make the cauldron. I wanted to dig out some of the wax so I could fit the little buttons, gems, charms, whatever I got, these like charm things inside that kind of look like bubbles. I just wanted them to sit inside of it better, so I dug out a bunch of this wax. Once that was dug out, I just hot glued these little beads inside. Easy peasy. The beads that I got came in a variety of sizes, which was great because that way it could mimic a bunch of different kinds of bubbles. Then once that was glued in, I got some silver paint, just some cheap silver paint, and quick rough brush strokes all over it because I felt like it was just too uniform black and I wanted it to look a little more antique. So then I moved on to the little bat. I cut the wings out of felt, really easy, and then I painted them with acrylic on the inside just to give them a little more depth, and then just hot glued them on. I wanted to give this little bat some fangs, so I used my chalk pencils to draw on some fangs, but I realized that it looked kind of faded, so I went back in with white paint and just painted right on top of the face. It got a little smudged, but it's fine. Now I basically had everything done, and it just came down to fitting her on the cloche. So it just took a lot of just finagling, seeing what worked and what didn't, how I wanted her to sit. I found out that when she was standing, her hat was too tall for the cloche, so I had to make her sit somehow. So I just kind of positioned things around until I liked how they looked and just hot glued them down. For the doll, I did pin her in place instead of hot gluing her, but the cloche glass topper kind of holds her in place as well when it closes over the whole thing. with everything in place, we put the top on, and let's see the glamour shots. And she's done. What do you think of her? I'm actually pretty happy with how this turned out. It was like a quick, fun little thing, and I kind of want to do more little scenes like this. They're really, really fun to do, and I like to make up this little story. Maybe I'll make something like this for Christmas too. Hopefully I can find a Christmas cloche. Then who knows? Maybe I'll make one for every holiday. I don't know. But this was really fun. I do like how she turned out. Even though she's kind of simple, I still think the scene is fun. I like the cauldron. I like the little bat guy. Yeah, I just had a good time. What do you think? Let me know down below if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more things like this. And I hope you all have a wonderful, happy Halloween. All right, that's about it. Goodbye.